Hey, great evening, great Monday evening, everybody. Thank you so much once again for hanging out with us in this space. We are excited to welcome you to another episode of Conversations with Chosen Pen. Dr. Norma is in the house. I am in the house. We have two phenomenal guests with us today, and we're going to dive right in. But before we do, we want to let you know that more exciting things are happening with Chosen Pen. As a matter of fact, we're going to kick off our Books to Africa campaign November 1st. As you know, one of our literary passions is supporting schools in South Africa. We've adopted two. And so last year we focused on Robin Hills Ellis Primary School. And this year we're going to focus on our school in Soweto. So if you have books for primary school students, preschool, K through seventh grade? Is that what
K through 7.
K through 7 books, educational books, inspirational books. Books for people in it that look like us, let's be clear. But we're welcoming all books. We want to be sure to plow their library with information that they can be excited about. Their school is looking forward to it. A lot of work is already underway. Dr. Norma, you want to touch on that a little bit before we get started with our conversations?
Yes, well, I will say that. And welcome to my two most favorite futuristic literacy leaders. And I'll get back to that in a minute, is why. But the school that we have in Soweto has probably, I think, close to 700 students in their environment. However, they are very poor students in their environment. The room that we have that we are using as a library is very, very small. It's probably maybe 16 by 16 or whatever. So we're building shelves along the wall to put the books on to allow the students to sit out in the middle to read them. But needless to say, we are still trying to make that work simply because they don't have books. They don't have access to books to read or as extracurricular parts of their curriculum. But we also not only for the library, but we also do media centers. So we try to make sure that there's, obviously not enough laptops or whatever we can give them, but that we can also have them some type of Wi-Fi, something that they can connect to while they're in school. The teachers are very wanting that so that they can help them with their studies. So if we can get things like that, that would be a plus as well. But of course, it's the books. The children are poor. The school is poor. We've planted vegetable gardens there. We're in the process of continuously planting vegetable gardens. The school had to close a couple of times at lunchtime because there was no food for the kids to eat at lunch. But then the big dilemma was they had no food at school, but neither did they have food at home for them to eat. And mostly there's a diet that consists of meats. So we're pushing a big vegetable campaign right now for them. So if you've seen me out in the vegetable garden planting whatever they're telling me to plant, that's what we're doing, and we will continue to do. We've contracted with the agricultural department there to help give us some plants and seedlings to plant at the various schools. So this is a big project, not only for us, but for the entire South African community.
So you see, we got a lot going on. We're not just about publishing books, honey. We planting greens, beans, potatoes, tomatoes, yams, whatever they say, you name it. So we want to do our best to support the children. And so we will be headed back to South Africa in March. And so our Books for Africa campaign will start November 1. If you have books you want to donate, follow us on Chosen Pen because all the contact information will be posted shortly. You could actually donate books, or if you want to just give a financial contribution towards us buying books, either way. But that's a little snippet of what we've got going on in the literacy vein. Now, let me tell you why that was so significant and how it ties to this phenomenal cast of beautiful women that we have all the way from the state of Georgia. These are, as Dr. Norma defined them, futuristic leaders. They're not futuristic. They're here and now. And they make a difference and make an impact in the literacy space. We have Dr. Anna Shea Wright out of Georgia, and we have Hope Doc Tahira Lee out of the state of Georgia. And so I'm going to allow them to introduce themselves in that respective order. Ladies, thank you so much for saying yes to the opportunity. Thank you for being with us today. We're excited to allow others to learn who you are and hear more about you. So Dr. Anna Shea, you go first.
Mic check, 1, 2. Can you guys hear me?
Can.
Yes.
All right. Excuse me, clear my throat. First of all, thank you so much. Wonderful, wonderful ladies. It is such an honor and indeed a privilege to be connected to you. Dr. Norma, Dr. Short, your energy is contagious. And shout out to Dr. Short for this Mary Kay that I have on
Oh, is
today.
that why you're so beautiful
Oh,
tonight?
I knew
Baby,
she had took it. I knew you took it up another level, sis. I just wasn't quite
you know,
sure.
I just had to give you some love, girl. You encouraged me to put it on, child. Um, anyway, I am Anashay Wright, Dr. Anashay Wright, but you can follow me or call me Anashay Disrupts. I am the founder and chief of Disruptive Partners. We are an education, technology, and innovation firm. We believe in disrupting for good with a focus on K-12 systems. I have been called the Olivia Pope of K-12 education systems. I work closely with superintendents. I am a certified, authentically ADHD genius, and I am the mother of two joyful, peaceful, and powerful Black children. Indeed, Decatur wears greater. Homegrown Decatur wears greater. ATL, and I'm honored to be here.
Thank you, Dr. Anashay. Thank you so very much. Now let's go. I don't even know which direction we're going to go, but we are still in the state of Georgia. So listen, Hope, Dr. Tahira, Lee, hello and welcome, and thank you for hanging out with us in this space.
Yes, thank you for having me. I am just super excited to be here. Three of the most favorite people in the world to me. Listen, I just love all of you guys. I feel blessed anytime I have an opportunity to talk or touch or be in the same space with you guys. But I'm Hope Dr. Lee. They affectionately call me Hope Doc because I help others pursue elevation, and those others are 7 to 17-year-olds. All things youth, education, and community. I was thinking when I sit for my doctorate in February, am I going to go by a Hope Doctor or am I going to just stick with the Hope Doc? I think I'm just going to stick with Hope Doc. But yes, I'm a mother of 6 beautiful children. I have 4 grown children that are out of the house, 2 that I'm trying to sell on eBay, but nobody wants them because they're TikTok babies. Okay, nobody wants them. Please, highest bidder, free, super free. Okay. I'm also a violinist. I've been playing the violin since I was 7 years old. I got the opportunity to play at Carnegie Hall, which is why I don't have nails and I don't wear nails because they just won't grow after all these years. I've been married to my husband for 20 years. He gets plenty of abuse from me on a daily basis because he's also the CFO of our company. And I'm always like, why the money is not right? Get us more money and get it right. Okay. But other than that, we have a lot of things happening with the Hope House family and our Hope House University. You mentioned the gardening and the vegetables. So Dr. Norma, I'm going to need tips because our tiny houses of hope development, they come with individual gardens. And so our master gardenist or whatever you call those folks, right?
Yes.
I'm going to be running his plans through you to make sure they're right. So thank you in advance for your help and support on that.
Absolutely.
But yes, I'm from California, but I'm now in Atlanta, Georgia. I'm not in Decatur where it's greater, but I'm up the street. I'm about 15, 20 minutes away from Dr. Anashay and love hanging out with her and hope to continue to hang out with her if I can get some time off her schedule. She's a busy woman, y'all.
Busy women make things happen.
Absolutely.
No doubt about it. So thank you so much again, ladies, for saying yes to the invitation. You said yes to the invitation to talk on this platform, but not only that, you said yes to the invitation to be a part of Chosen Pen's 10th anniversary celebration, which included a Forbes Business Council panel experience. Dr. Norma, that was her brainchild. And of course, as a result of being connected to the one and only Dr. Kiana Dancy, you all were connected, and I'm so glad she knew y'all, right? So now I know y'all, and we're almost like this experience has really been one where we just became connected. I want to say 90 days ago, but even maybe 90 days. I don't know if it's been a full 90 days, but nevertheless, it feels like we've known each other forever. You know, I feel like I've known you all for a while. Dr. Norma, let's kick off this interview. Let's talk a little bit about that Forbes Business Council and your excitement. I know the enthusiasm about these two ladies, what really everybody. Before we go into that, I want to send a shout out though to Dr. Belinda Wilkerson. She was the the moderator for this specific group when it has to do with literacy. She did a phenomenal job, as I knew she would. She's very passionate about literacy. She's very passionate about, as in her own profession as a school counselor, she works with students on getting them prepared for college. I think her catch line is to help parents eliminate the random acts of planning when it comes to college life. So she begins to work with youth very early. She's very passionate about literacy. As a matter of fact, I live vicariously through her when she does the college tours, because it's inevitable that she's going to find a library on campus or a library in the city and take photos. That's just how much she's into books herself. So thank you, Dr. Belinda. I don't know if you're seeing this now or later, but we appreciate you being a very instrumental part of this panel discussion. Dr. Norma, let's talk a little bit about the literacy panel. Why don't we?
The literacy panel is probably the most of my heart while we were talking about that, because, you know, I'm all into literacy. But this literacy panel was more than literacy today. Because usually when we talk about literacy, all we talk about is what's happening in the classroom today. What can we do to make it better? What can we do to help our little Black boys be able to read and succeed past the 3rd grade? That's the conversation that we usually have for literacy. But these ladies on this particular panel said, we have answers. We have answers. We have answers to take our children past the 3rd grade, not only past the 3rd grade, but we're going to allow them to be something more than a high school graduate. We're going to allow them to fulfill dreams. We're going to ask them, what is it that you want to be when you grow up? You know, we ask all preschoolers that question. They always want to be a fireman or whatever. We never follow up on it after they leave preschool. But I think in this case, once we find out, we identify an avenue that those kids really want to participate or want to be, that these ladies have found a way to try to make that actually happen. And in making that happen, they also allow them to grow into themselves by becoming CEOs of their own destiny, which is amazing to me. I love every bit of it. To be able to just identify a track, identify somewhere that you want to go, where you want to be by the time you're age 17, and actually accomplish those dreams and those goals, was just right down my line. But okay, I got you. When y'all come, what can we do? How do we need to make this happen? So I've been on them ever since to try to make something happen with that. But this particular panel, the literacy panel, was all about the future. It wasn't anything about the past. It wasn't anything about the here and now. It was not only about children, but it was also about adults and adults in the future. It was letting them say that ownership, which was one of the things, my big word right now is ownership. We don't have to put ownership of your own life, ownership of whatever it is that it is. We're not only talking about cars and houses or whatever, but we're trying, and I no longer say meeting the American dream, because that's not where we want to go. But we do want to move into ownership and their own destinies, and identifying them where the students are not lockstep within each classroom, but they can pursue their own individual paths. Okay, Alyssa, that's what I got.
Well, if you hadn't already picked up, Dr. Norma is really super excited about this particular topic. And our guest, Tahira, let's start with you first. Talk a little bit about, give a little insight, because Dr. Norma has basically introduced you what you do and your platforms, but we want to be very specific at this point.
Yes, absolutely. She is specifically talking and giving honor, and I feel so blessed to that, to our rising charter school, the Hope House University. Not only is it going to offer individualized curriculum based on the 7 areas of wellness, which are included but not limited to legacy building. And when we talk about legacy building, we're talking about generational wealth. And we're not talking about just money. We're talking about your heart set, your mindset. What moral compass can you pass down to your children, to children's children, to just kind of break some of those generational curses, so they say. But besides that, 5 individualized tracks: business, real estate, arts, tech, and science. The truth of the matter, the children 7 to 17 that are on this program, they probably are not going to be college bound, right? And if they're not college bound, does not mean they're not going to be successful, because they are and will be CEOs of their own life and their own destiny. All right. We need businesses. We need the entrepreneurs. We need the real estate moguls and proteges that will do it for the people and not for profit. There's a lot of real estate people out there buying up land and excluding a lot of people who are underprivileged. So this is not what that is. This is to encourage them to create opportunities for the underserved and underprivileged. The arts program, you know, entertainment, it's a big thing. It's something that's, we all love it. We all partake of it, but there's better ways on how to enter the field and how to do it properly and be prepared. So, and then last but not least, the tech and the science. We see how tech is taking over. Tech is taking over. AI is here. Okay. I went to a restaurant in California and there was only one employee. The rest of the employees were robots. They took my order, they took my food, and they came back and they cleaned my table. It was unbelievable. I have a sister who is in the healthcare field. She works with a robot every single day doing surgeries. It's amazing. So this tech part is to equip and prepare them for what's coming, And then science. We all need science, right? We all need those sciences. So they do have the opportunity to earn while they learn. So with their funder group contributing, with a combination with the funder group and their investment vehicles, they have an opportunity to earn while they learn, about $5,000 per year. So if a student enters at 7 and graduates at 17, they have $50,000 to catapult them to success, right? Whatever that may be defined for them during that intake process with their group of advisors, life coaches, mental health coaches, because everyone will have one. Mental health is imperative and it's not something that's optional, it's required. We all need to be mentally well and healthy in order to carry out everything that we want to do in life. So very excited about this initiative. Very excited about partnering with Dr. Anna Shea with her fantastic digital coaches. I'm super excited, because this is about a whole life literacy movement, right? Not just can you read at a third grade level, but what can you do to equip you for whole life learning? You might be able to read at a college level when you're in eighth grade. But do you know about self care? Do you know that happiness starts with self? Do you know that it's important for you to reduce your waste and be careful with the items that you use and reuse, because we're helping the planet? All right. That's the kind of things that we're
I love
focusing
it.
on at HHU. Yes.
Dr. Norm, anything you want to ask?
Girl, I'm just ready to implement the program. I tell everyone that I see and who will listen. I tell them about the desk. I tell them about everything. So I'm truly excited about this movement.
All right, well then let's shift gears.
Well, before you go, let her explain about the backpack. That's
the backpack. Okay. Yes, please.
Oh, I was gonna say we love the backpack. Listen, I'll be shipping off a prototype to you guys very soon. So the backpack, if you could just imagine, you've seen this in the airports. It's that bulletproof looking carry-on that you roll through the airport that they will let you check on carry-on because it's not big, but it is indestructible. So imagine that folded out, opened up, and then the four legs come down, and then the monitor comes up. There you go. You're ready. You're ready to learn. You have your Oculus, you have your body cape, which is what we use for our AI integrated curriculum, electives like horseback riding, tennis, we have basketball. You'll be able to put on that body cape and high five your classmate virtually and feel like he's high fiving you back on the court. It's so incredible, the things that technology can do. And here's the best part about the on-demand learning kit. When they open up to start their lessons for the day, there's technology that is inside their monitor that is connected to their phone that disables their phone. So they're going to have undistracted, uninterrupted learning while they're in lesson.
Wow.
Okay. Yes. Starve the distractions, feed the focus. Okay. Yes, I'm excited about that. You guys ready for your demos?
Yes, we are so ready.
Yes.
Do you have one that does laundry and that kind of
Take
stuff?
notes. Let me get with the AI team. They're out in France. Hey, we need one that does laundry.
Thank you, Tahara. All right, so Dr. Anashay, you are AI. You are our Miss AI. You're the champion for AI. Of course, Dr. Tahara just made reference to how that's going to be implemented, and so many people shy away. I can remember even now they're still fussing about whether we should use social media. When things shut down during COVID, everybody went into a panic about how can we not block, how are we going to yada yada yada. Tell the world, our viewers, those that follow, whether they're watching live or the replay, a little bit about your passion, your mission, and how AI is an intricate part of that.
Yeah, no, thank you so much. And Doc Hope, man, so she is in DeKalb County down the street from me. So yeah, it's done. Right. We just gonna do the DeKalb thing. And shout out to the Dr. Kiana Dancy, my sister from another mister since 1996. Love you, girl. Listen, the year was 2019, and my company had been brought in to a major school district in Georgia to disrupt the school to prison pipeline. It's probably the largest alternative school in the state of Georgia. And one thing I do believe is that people do have good intentions, right? Especially in education, right? At the same time, though, I do believe the road to hell is paved with good
With good
intentions.
intentions.
Yeah. Uh, Enough said there. So when I was greeted with a group of 12 students, 100% of these students had been labeled as special education, middle to high school. Um, 100% free and reduced lunch. About 75% minority, mostly Black boys. But what I saw was 100% genius. I remember being told that I had about 3 weeks to design a program from the ground up to launch and pilot the program. And I was given a teacher assistant to help me out. Well, when I got in class, because of their special education designation, I was allowed to focus on literacy. And so let's be clear, there is English language arts, right, which is the content area of literacy, but then there is the actual broader concept of literacy, which is any set of knowledge or information across
Mhm.
any sector. There is financial literacy,
Mhm.
right? There is social justice literacy. Literacy is actually the information you need to be dope in whatever it is you want to be dope in, right? You need the information,
Mhm.
right? And in my company, Disruptive Partners, if I may use literacy to give you the synonym, which is to interrupt, right? Meaning if you're not interrupting or disrupting, then you're doing more of the same. And with these group of 12 kids, as soon as I said the word write, right, do a writing prompt or to do something where they had to pause, I would just see the kids shut down. Well, my friend, a dot AI tool, um, I have been using because of my own diagnosis with ADHD as an adult. And one day I told the kids, I said, instead of writing your genius, why don't you just speak it into this tool? And the kids within 3 weeks went from an average of failing 2 classes to failing none. They increased I would say 1.8, almost 2 years in their literacy grade level within about 3 weeks and 30 days. They averaged about 60% disciplinarian. They had about average of 7 to 9 discipline referrals every month. They had none. And more than anything, they got to reclaim their truth because society had colonized it. And it talked about what they could not do. It talked about them being off task, right? But what it didn't tell was that 50% of them have been permanently disconnected from a parent, meaning through death, incarceration, right? But we're not talking about that statistic, right? See, we constantly brainwash kids into
Mhm.
believing they can't read or that they're only a free and reduced metric, right? But I believe every child is joyful, peaceful, powerful, and I believe they are born into this world with that. And so what AI has done masterfully is captured the genius of kids who were never designed to fit into the box of school. And so now we're not just going for a disrupting the school to prison pipeline, baby. No, we disrupting the school to poverty pipeline. Because I truly believe that we can weaponize literacy as one of the greatest tools to reclaim our mind, to reclaim our time, to reclaim our story, and decolonize and disrupt and refute All those negative truths to the pits of lies, to the pits of fake public school hell it came from, right? Tradition is no more, right? Tradition is not normal. And so what has happened with literacy is when you can't engage the minds of these young learners, you want to control their bodies with policy. AI says, no, I can speak my genius and in 3 seconds have a book. So now you got a question, right? Were you really just assessing a kid's ability to write something down? Or do you really care about them being thinkers, self-empowered thinkers, or the student CEOs of their lives?
I love it. I absolutely love it. By now, you already know why Dr. Norma is like all over herself.
Yes.
She is like, literacy all over herself right now. Dr. Norma, I know you may have questions. You want to comments? Go ahead.
All I'm trying to say is win. Just win. No, we've had this conversation. I love every bit of it. This is something, Anissa, I've been looking for, searching for years. I encourage the teacher, please get outside the box. Please do whatever you can to make the students learn. Please don't try to teach every student on the same level, using the same methods. Let's lose all the learning styles that you can think of. Do whatever you can to move that student from wherever it is that he is and show him or her that true love and respect, and they will take it from there. But what we have here is not only that, but it is allowing them to be themselves, be the people that God created them to be, and not who our schools have thought that they should be.
That's good.
And
that's really good.
I talk, as I say, anybody that will listen gets to hear about this, and it's coming soon. Oh, it's coming.
Yeah, it's coming soon. One of the things I will say is that the platforms that both Tahira and Anashay both have brought to the table addresses the fact that, or it embraces, it doesn't shun. When we talk about things from a traditional standpoint, well, a traditional family doesn't look like like it once did. A tradition was traditional. What is a traditional family? We use those patterns and those puzzles to try to make everybody fit, but it doesn't. A traditional family once upon a time was a mom and a dad in the household. Dad went to work, mom stayed home, took care of the kids went to school. Everybody's the June Cleaver approach. Does anybody know a June Cleaver? It's very few. They're very few and far between. So if our household dynamic has changed, if how we live our lives have changed, why not the educational system pivot to embrace that? And that's what I hear in both you, Dr. Anashay, and the Hope Doc. You have taken your platforms and allowed them to fit the circumstance of where we are now, but not only fit the circumstance of where the student might be now and the family dynamic might be now, but you're also brave enough to say, what y'all doing is not working. So we're going to provide another option to either supplement what's there or to just totally replace it. Is that a fair assessment?
Absolutely. Yeah. But I think the conversation we're not having is the self-disruption that has to happen, right? There's a you have to disrupt yourself, right? Disrupt or be disrupted is what I said, right? And you disrupt yourself, and that begins with your thinking. And the fundamental question is, what do you believe, right? Like at the core of your soul, you gotta be like, what do you truly believe about Black children, right? What do you truly, truly believe? And that's a conversation you need to have when nobody else in the room with you. Right. I've taught over 2,000 children in the K-12 system. I've never written a kid up in my life. I've never, right? And I know that when I see a child, I don't even see a deficit statistic. But that's because my mama raised me early on to lead with love, right? So I think the question we have to ask everybody is like, well, when the door's shut, man, what you really believe? And how do you disrupt that and shift your thinking?
Yeah, that's good. That's really good. One other aspect of to tap into what you're saying that I had in a conversation not long ago with someone else is that a lot of these decisions that are being made about our children are being made by people whose kids don't even go to these schools. So are they truly as invested in this system working? Are they truly as invested as they say they are? I don't think they are. I think the system is doing exactly what it was intended to do. But are we as parents, are we as leaders, are we people, of intelligence willing to say, no, that we demand something different? And that's what I see both you, Dr. Anashay and Hope Doc doing is not only demanding, but commanding, and not just saying someone ought to do, but you're willing enough to be the one to lead out front. Dr. Norma, anything you want to add or say?
No, because I know they are they're carrying the banner for our students. And I'm just proud to be in the mix. I'll just walk along behind and just holler and school and whoop whoop for everybody. But I think that you are the leaders in this and at the forefront. But being at the forefront means that you have followers. And it is my goal to ensure that we have lots of them.
That's good. That's really good. So you guys had an opportunity, ladies, to speak on a panel that focused on literacy. So you brought your own flavor to the conversation, and then there were others that joined you. The Forbes Business Council was an excellent platform, not only to make connections, but to make an impact. And we're still talking about it. We really are. People are still talking about it. We're still having conversations about it. And of course, it was hosted by Chosen Pen Publishing. That's just a part of what Chosen Pen has to offer. I would love for you all to share a little insight on what the event, maybe just that panel discussion, or the event weekend overall meant to you, or what impacted you most. Listen, the Hope Doc, let's start with you.
I was going to say, I don't think we have enough time to talk about how I felt about the event. Okay. From the before to the during to the after, it was excellent at its finest. I have attended a number, so many, I can't even tell you how many events that I have. This was my favorite. There was so much love in the room and compassion, support, the networking. Oh my goodness. And then just all the all the all the panelists about literacy. Everyone had a love for literacy in their own special way, and how they brought that to not just ministry but to the marketplace. It was a great experience, and I feel bad for the ones who did not attend. Sorry, not sorry. Get yourselves in the door in the building next year, okay, for the next annual celebration. You do not want to miss it. But it was amazing. It was simply amazing.
Thanks, Ms. Hope Doc. Shay, same question for you.
Yeah, no, I thought a lot about this question. And I even jotted down some points I wanted to make. Chosen Pen, you guys are truly a light in this whole world of publishing, and fused with uh, Black excellence, right? You bridge the beauty of the traditional and the contemporary with new age, right? Because we don't throw all of traditional wisdom out the door, right? We bridge it. You are a bridge. You are a connector. You are more than a publishing house, honey. You two are truly love. You are family. You are community. You elevate authentic, raw voices, right? In a world that is so often, I know for me, it was confusing understanding how this publishing space worked. Even what you're doing for me now. Um, my mother passed away when she was 39, and she was a literary guru. She wrote, she wrote, she wrote until she didn't have a breath in her body. And so I truly believe that she sent you all, right? Because her energy has been transferred to the two of you. So I thank you for being other mothers. I thank you for being sisters. I thank you for being courageous, bold, fearless when it comes to lifting up the disruptors, like Doc Hope, right, and and nurturing and protecting our soul, right, by giving literacy a place as a weapon for good. So I say to you, Ashe, I say thank you, and you are appreciated.
Oh, that's sweet. Dr. Norma, last comments from you.
Oh, thank you so much. And have to say that we are a bridge is a wonderful statement, because I think, as you said it, I could see us being that as we're trying to lead the past into the future. And in doing this, I always have deja vu back to where I was when in 1960 or whatever, when I was in the first grade. There was no kindergarten. But being between my grandparents and my parents, by the time we went to first grade, I could already read. There was nothing there to teach you how to read other than your parents saying, take this book of Dick and Jane or Tom and Jerry, whichever one they were. And your sister has already read these books, so you need to read them. And my grandmother giving me other books to say, you may never leave this place, literally, but you can travel the entire world and see the entire world through books. So always read and find a place to go, because the books will make you, the reading and the literacy will make you bigger than what you physically are. It will take you where you cannot imagine that you can go. And of course it has. And through that, and all the way through all of my life, looking back on that, you see, I don't want anyone to be trapped in that position that we were trapped in as Black people with nothing, but we overcame anyway. So now we have all of this available to us. So there's no excuse for us not to succeed and be the best that we can be and offer the best that we can offer. Become the community that of Black people that we always claimed that we are. But we know we're not, because we're not helping anybody as a child. When we were growing up, the community helped you out. You know, if you got in trouble at school, by the time you got home, you would have gone through the community. You got in trouble all along the way. So that's what I'm looking for. I want everybody to be able to feel a part, every child to feel that they're a part of the community. When they go to school, when they leave school, they go to church, they go to wherever they go, that there is someone there that they can look up to and know that they have their backs. That's and good. Pushing them forward to be owners and have ownership. Not only, as I say, but land, cars, or whatever. And they can also read the contracts and the mortgages in order to get them.
That's good. That's really good. You know, you speak to community. That's what Chosen Pen is. It's a family. It really is. And even with working with some of our literary clients, I tell them, you know, I appreciate you considering Chosen Pen, because even though we may provide a service in assisting others with having their voice placed on paper and actually published, they do become an extension of who we are. The business relationship may have ended, but they become family. They really do. They become an extension oftentimes. And so to that point, Hope Doc and Dr. Anashe, you are now stuck with me. I'm sorry. Yeah, we just kind of stuck. Dr. Norma has brought us all together, and for that, I cannot even be more grateful. We appreciate you being a part of the community. Thank you again for saying yes to the opportunity to be a part of the Chosen Pen 10th anniversary. We talked about the celebration continues, and this is the last recap of our 10-year anniversary as we close out. Next week, we're going to kick off with a new segment, but I want to say thank you to those who are a part of our community, whether you watch these podcasts live or you watch the replay. We could not be here without you, and we so appreciate your support. So don't forget to like and share. You could follow us each and every Monday, 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We will be here talking with someone and sharing information that pertains to literacy, publishing, entrepreneurship, and of course, the platform of forgiveness. So thank you again for choosing to be with us today. We hope you choose to be with us again on next week. In the meantime, make it a great week and have a great day.